on purpose, signed up to join the, I'm sorry, what was it?
He joined the Air Force.
Yes.
And then he purposely chose, of all the career fields that were open to him, he chose explosive ordnance disposal, EOD.
And then they sent him to Iraq.
Well, they trained him, and they sent him to Iraq. He went over there. He sent us email photos of blowing up, these big catches of weapons out in the desert, huge balls of fire and big streaks going up in the air and stuff like that. He also showed us a picture of this remote control robot that he was in charge of. It's $1 million piece of equipment that's designed to go out and, pick up a bomb or something or a piece of ordnance and safely move it, out of a civilian area or whatever. And he was in charge of that and operated it. Well, so he put in his, I believe, 2 or 3 years of Air Force service, got out, got married. I think they have a little baby girl.
Wow.
And he was living out in California. Well, I guess life was pretty dull. So before we knew it, I think he was out of the service for about a year. He re-enlisted. He went back in. And now I'm sure they gave him a pretty sizable re-enlistment bonus. They do give bonuses out, anywhere from $10,000 up to $25,000 or even $30,000. I'm not sure what he got, but I'm sure he got a bonus for re-enlisting. And he's back over in Iraq doing what he thoroughly loves to do, and that's blow things up.
Wow.
So here's a person, not everybody's like this, but here's a kid that had the world by the tail. He could have gone on to college. Maybe he will, in the service, they encourage us to continue education and continue our education. And many of the enlisted people in my office have bachelor's degrees and master's degrees even. And this is something that's strongly encouraged, and the military helps to pay for this too.
Oh.
So it's people, a lot of civilians here in the United States say, oh God, we want our boys and girls back home. But when you talk to some of the people, and I think there'd be the vast majority of people that have served one tour, 2 tours, or even 2, 3 tours in Iraq or Afghanistan, they will, by and large, tell you that they feel they are doing a good thing, that they talk to the people in the community. They're out there talking to the farmer and the people that, have a little business or whatever. And they feel that they are doing something worthwhile. Now, all the people back here that have never been in the military or never served their country, or for that matter, never given anything back to their country whatsoever, they're saying, oh, God, we want to bring our people back. Well, I do too. And I'm sure all the families that have children over there want their sons and daughters back home. I know I sure would. I'd want them back here in safety as soon as possible. But I wouldn't want to pull them out until the job is done.
No, there's a lot of people that feel that way. That story about that kid who went back to Iraq on purpose and took one of the hardest, most dangerous jobs, that's a guy that I need to interview, because I think his insights would be really...
Absolutely.
I think his insights would be very fascinating for a lot of people to hear.
Well, he picked something that, here again, you are living on the edge of the razor constantly. Your life is as exciting and as full and as challenging as it could possibly be. And for him to come back home and go to work at, a car dealership or something like that, yeah. I'm sure he was probably looking around thinking, God, this is boring. I can't stand this. And he probably decided, I can't take this. I can't take this life. And he decided, I want to go back where the action is. And there's a lot of people that feel that way. And the military is for them. That's the life they choose, and that's what they desire most, is to be in the military. And you'll see a lot of people that have put in 20 or even 30 years into the military and absolutely love it. It's not for everybody, definitely not for everybody. But it's a service to your country, be it Canada, be it America, be it Venezuela, it doesn't matter. It's a service to your country. You're giving back something.
That's true, and I think I think we all have to respect the troops, and both American and Canadian troops, what they're doing. And of course we respect your service as well. I mean, you are about to put your own military uniform on yourself tomorrow. I think your insight is really interesting, and it's appreciated because it's different than what we're used to hearing. I think a lot of people do have knee-jerk reactions when they hear things like what Bush said and the general war in general. But it is tough to remain objective when the stakes are this high.
Well, it certainly is. And one thing that I do is to resolve the issue of Iraq within my first 4 years of service as president. I'm not going to promise anything like two of the candidates are saying, oh, we're going to pull them out. We're going to get them out in 6 months, or the week that I have them in, I'm going to pull a brigade out. Well, they're just talking smoke and mirrors. They're looking for that the people out there that are, I'll use the term ignorant about what's going on.
Right.
That don't really understand the situation, don't really understand the logistics of it all either. But the fact that we would just, pull stakes and hold our tent up and take off is kind of silly. It has to be a phased out action. It has to be done sensibly and logically.
Right.
And I think the number one goal of my administration would be to resolve this ASAP, without a doubt. But there's no way you can say, well, I'm going to do it in 6 months or 1 year.
No,
2 years.
I agree with that. And I guess this is one of those things that you're going to have to ask about when you're doing your running as an independent candidate in these elections. I understand real briefly here, Don, there's going to be an independent conference held in Cincinnati the beginning of April, where all the independent candidates that are running seriously in this election are going to be getting together, and you're going to be there. This is pretty fascinating news really quick. Are you looking forward to that?
Well, did you get my email?
I did. I got your email, and I also emailed Richard Clark, who has agreed to be interviewed and work on covering this event as well.
Great. Well, as far as I know so far, we've had about 25 people that have signed up to go. And I guess they picked Cincinnati because it's kind of centrally located in the United States, so it's not that far for most people to travel. But I'm sure there's some people that may not be able to get there. But in any event, of the 25, if you look through all of the websites, the web pages of all these different candidates, you have to understand that there's really a small percentage of those that are really, you could say, viable or credible or are going to really work to the top, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, well, some of the websites are pretty horrible, to be honest.
Pardon?
Some of the websites are pretty horrible, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, one's a vampire. Come on. So anyway, some of these people are just doing it, I think, for a lark.
Oh, there's a guy I have to interview.
Yeah, the vampire.
Okay. Don, you're responsible for getting me 2 interviews: the vampire and this guy that likes to blow things up in Iraq. That's your task.
Okay. Well, I just tried to send an email to Bob, and I sent it to his base here in the United States, and apparently he's out there now and probably in Iraq or Afghanistan. So I haven't been able to reach him, but I think eventually he'll pick up on his email and get back to me.
Well, I look forward to that. Don, thanks a lot for joining us today. I appreciate it. Enjoy your weekend of military service. I hope it goes well and you don't have to do any push-ups.
Well, I tell you what, I had rotator cuff surgery on my right shoulder a year ago this month, and I had rotator cuff surgery on my left shoulder in January. So I'm exempt from doing push-ups for the rest of the year.
Lucky you. Take care, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Fred.
That's Don. Thank you, sir. Don K. Allen, a presidential candidate in the United States elections. He's running as an independent. There's going to be a bunch of independents getting together on April, I think it's 4th and 5th, or 5th and 6th or something, in Cincinnati. This is really huge. I mean, I know most people don't really care about it per se, but the mainstream media is ignoring the independent candidates, which is why we have Don Allen on the phone, because no one pays attention to what goes on with him anyway, except for us. So we're proud to be able to bring that story, and hopefully we'll see more of him. He defends George Bush here, saying that when he said that thing about Afghanistan being a romantic war, maybe we need to look at it more. Maybe it wasn't the best choice of words, but I think the guy's an idiot. That's my personal opinion.